All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Verbal Garbage coming at you hot and live. We're off a little missing a week and trying to combine two together. And sometimes these are my favorite episodes because I'm trying to scramble what I want to talk about first, being 10 or so days with not doing one. So let's just jump right into it. First off, I want to congratulate one of my best friends of life, Jason Schetzel, and his engagement to his beautiful bride to be, Miss Ashlyn Rain, I believe it is. Just had baby Lenny a few months ago, and now they're going to make it official. Which brings me to my next point. Don't have my passport yet. So I've already pled my case for being one of the the groomsmen. I stated my resume out loud, let them know what the case was, how I'm stacking up against my fellow competitors in the race, and yeah, don't have a passport. So we're working on that. Been wanting to get one anyway for a while. Don't know where I'm going. Don't know who I'm going with, but Jamaica could be the first international trip for Freddie International. So let's get it popping. So congratulations, Jason and Ashlyn. Maybe a few more babies and just a happy life of blissful marriage. This is just we're jumping all over the place, guys. We got so much going on. Not really, but go into a little sports section real quick, and then we'll just jump back into some random stuff. Sporting wise, documentary. I watched that Florida Gator documentary, the Johnny Manziel documentary on Netflix. Don't have Netflix anymore, so I went to this beautiful little site where you can do what you got to do free of charge. So did that. Excellent quality. Didn't miss a beat. So Johnny Manziel one, just very sad. Just found out he was diagnosed as bipolar. So he's the butt of a lot of jokes, but just a shame. He had all that talent in college and just couldn't really parlay it into the pro game and make himself a long-lasting professional. And it's fine. It was a great documentary, entertaining. Florida Gator one I watched was entertaining, but also a little bit skewed in a certain direction, in my opinion. Wasn't so much like a documentary where it's telling, trials and tribulations. Like it's mostly all the good. It didn't cover any of the Aaron Hernandez stuff, any of the Pouncey brothers, Cam Newton coming in with the laptop. I mean, there was a bunch of crime stories that weren't covered. I think Urban Meyer had some kind of weird thing going on. So just glossing over a lot of that. I don't know how you can just make a documentary about so many high profile people and then not cover some of the big stories that were going on with them at the time. Very relevant to the story. So thought it was a little, I'm not going to say misleading, but definitely a little skewed, like how they used to do the vegan documentaries and make you think that everything vegan was the best and everything that's meat related is just disgusting and devilish. So, whatever. Jumping to another sport event, we had the Ryder Cup selection happen. For those of you who don't follow golf too much, I'll keep this quick, but the Ryder Cup is pretty much when you're pairing countries against each other and the USA gets a certain amount of picks. And Zach Johnson being the captain, he gets his picks. It's a boys' club, as we like to say. Me, I've talked on here and voiced my appreciation for the Live Golf League, and I think a couple of those boys are getting definitely snubbed of a chance to be on there. And Keegan Bradley got, all for Justin Thomas just because he's buddy, and people are, oh, he's a good competition player in match play. Well, he didn't deserve to be on the team this year. How about that? Okay. All right. NFL, is there anything to really get into? Not really right now. I think I'm going to do a little NFL preview show just for fun for me to talk about a couple things, pick some winners, and do that. See if I can get my buddy Sharif on as an annual tradition. But if not, I'm flying solo. Jump into the MMA world. As you know, or may not know, the main event last weekend took place in Singapore. Was it last week? Yeah, last weekend. Singapore main event, Max Holloway and the Korean Zombie Chan Sung Jung. Entertaining fight. Max Holloway is he's incredible. There's only one guy that can really do anything to him, the champ Volkanovski. But Korean Zombie got KO'd one shot, face planted in the mat, brutal scene. However, he got to retire in Singapore, which isn't Korea, obviously, where he's from, but you know what I'm getting at here. There was a couple memes I saw online, like when men cry, or like when kids cry, when women cry, and when men cry, and it was like that Korean Zombie. For those of you who didn't see it, essentially he comes out to that song "Zombie" by the Cranberries, which is just such a banger. And because his nickname's Korean Zombie, obviously. So I'm trying to pull it up real quick to see if I can find it because it was just such a dope send off where the whole crowd was, singing him and serenading him as he's walking out of the octagon. It was obviously sad, but it was one of those things is like this guy always puts so much effort into it, always um just came to fight. He had to go to do 4 years of mandatory military service for the Korean Army, and we lost him in his prime years, but we're trying to give me one quick second because it's a really cool Korean Zombie. It's a really cool video just showing probably not gonna be able to find it, but yeah, so I mean it's just I'll share the screen real quick. This was just his initial walkout just to give you guys a little bit of context for anyone watching. Didn't know it was gonna be his last fight, nobody really knew, but turned out to be. He ended up retiring, but just look how dope this is. Zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey. Now we really got to find the one where they send him off because it was just we can give me a quick second here, right, guys, and we can do that. We can go to MMA, just some kind of MMA page. Sorry for the lull in action, but I just thought it was a pretty cool moment, and if we're not gonna find it, we're not gonna find it. We'll give it 10 more seconds. It's a little hard sometimes. And sometimes I wish I planned these things out before I went live on the airwaves, and I kind of knew I wanted to talk about this, but I didn't get a chance. Remove. So we're talking a little bit further down the line here. Honestly, guys, I think it's worth it. Never mind. All right, so we're not gonna find it. Anyways, let's move on. So yeah, that was it for the MMA event. Max Holloway. Oh, we got the hot golf girl videos. Yep. Should we shout her out? Nah. So essentially, what we got going on right now is Max Holloway is the number one contender, and he has already fought Volkanovski 3 times, lost all 3. We're at the point now where you really you can't really make that fight when you're 0-3 against someone for the 4. Like, and Max deserves it. He's the number one contender. He beats everybody except Volkanovski, but I just don't know like how you can get away with doing that. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe Volkanovski will move up and Max can take back his throne because it's very clear he's the undisputed best featherweight besides Volkanovski. Last Saturday, I believe it was, I went out to Babcock Ranch and made my golfing debut there, and great time, interesting time. Played with one guy I've never played before, and then one kid who I swore I would never play with again. And gotta say, he redeemed himself. We go to Babcock Ranch. I don't know what happened, guys. First 3 holes, I go par, bogey, birdie. Incredible start. We're playing from the second furthest. There was 5 tee boxes. We played from the fourth tee box. Yeah, so the second to furthest tee box. I ended up shooting a 95 there, which I was ecstatic about. First time ever playing the course. Pretty long. A lot of long par 4 or intermediate par 4s. 400 and some yards, a few par 5s, a couple juicy little par 3s, and it was just a tremendous time. So, yeah, it was just funny. The kid I play with, Steve, who was actually a future or a previous guest of the podcast early on, and scared to ask people to come on, and just asked him. We had a fun little conversation and went golfing with him once. Absolute nightmare. And last time we went, it was a lot of fun. So looking forward to some more golf time, Steve, and let's go, baby. Hurricane that just struck. When I first found out about it, I immediately shit my pants because having just gone through that with my parents this last one, 4.5 feet of water in the house, and just terrible. All our neighbors dealing with it, so much loss. I saw this one coming in with the first letter was an I, and just bad vibes and bad juju. Luckily, it didn't hit us too bad. We just got flooding in the backyard and flooding in the streets. Nothing that came in the house. One of our neighbors wasn't so lucky. Got a little bit in his house. Was on it actively to mitigate the problem and seemed to stay on it pretty well. Yeah, just the like I remember I was on a bike ride the morning of like the day where it was supposed to hit, and there's just such an ominous feeling in that calm before the storm. And growing up in New Jersey, we would go through a few of them, and you'd have them, and just the way I'm wired, like I probably talked about this on here before, but like we would have them in New Jersey, and we'd lose power for like a few hours. And I'd be freaking out, like going to the freezer, like everybody's got to eat a Snickers ice cream bar so they don't get wasted. And just my dumbass, and come few years later and we deal with one where we're without power and water for I don't even remember at this point, 5-8 days. It was such a blur, but yeah, it's definitely an ominous thing when you're going around, you're seeing some people not care, some people are going all out prepping. I consider myself kind of middle of the pack where I'll get stuff ahead of time, but not as early as I should. Oh, I left my water over there. So yeah, I already got gas the week before for the generator. Got a couple cases of water. We just have some dry food. So just the essentials. But essentially what we're dealing with here is like if the property that my parents own gets flooded and gets water in it, we're fucked because we're right in the water. It's a 1-story house. It's low. It's in a low neighborhood. So all the prep you can get doesn't really do you good if you got to evacuate and can't take everything with you when you're evacuating, right? So kind of that conundrum you're faced with. How serious do you take it? Do you flee? Do you stay? What do you get? What do you not have in place? My mom and I were going around, like the generator I bought last year. We were raising that up, had to pick it up between us two. So shout out to my 60-year-old mother getting down and boogie and lifting the generator up. So staying young, staying youthful, staying strong. But yeah, I'm praying for the people in Cedar Key and the other places that got whacked. And it's such a weird feeling because you're like selfishly happy it's not hitting you because we just went through one, but you don't want anyone else to go through it, but you can relate to that. It's just a very weird situation to be in, and I'm just so thankful I didn't have to like go to stores during it because you just see a whole nother breed of people when you're out trying to do these things. And you just like I just remember a couple years ago when people were price gouging and fighting at gas stations, just all this bullshit. So that's what I'm saying. If prep a little bit ahead of time, July, August, start getting a couple things and kind of see what happens, right? There was a Steve Harvey rumor out there that would end up being debunked I was going to cover. So his wife was cheating on him. I was going to play the whole compilation video of him doing the speech to his wife and then doing something. We'll get away from that. A few more things and then we'll get you guys out of here. How about that? Don't remember that story. See, I have a little thing on my phone now where it's just like, I'm hoping is going to evolve into joke writing, but I go in there, I just make notes of what I think is funny, what I see out in the streets when I'm driving my truck, walking, bike ride. If I see some kind of interaction, bike ride. These fucking pro cycling little cucks that drive around in their little racing uniform with their little water bottle holder and their little pointy helmets. Every time I'm on my bike ride, I'm just jamming in my AirPods. I'm cruising. I got my little shades, my headband on. I'm vibing, dog. And I'm just smiling and waving to people all the time. And these bikers, dog, they're just always giving me that cold little stare where they look up and like gaze at me and then look down. Like I could go that fast on my bike if I got that. You know what I mean? I drive a big Trek and it's got a little, it's a combination of a speed bike and a mountain bike, and it's got fatter tires. These little guys are running around with their little skinny tires and they think they're so much better because they go faster than me and they just don't want to wave. I'm tired of it. I get all the cycling jokes why people rag on them, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the cycling community, so why am I getting offended by this? But like, I'm not in the cycling community because I don't wear my little racing outfit, my little pointy helmet, little spandex, little fucking things and numbers and stripes and things and sponsors on the back, like your little strap-in, buckle-in shoes. Fuck you, all right? Felt really good to get that off my chest. Since we're exercise related, let's go real quick to this will air Friday morning, okay? But Tuesday, Wednesday didn't have work. Got a call out of the blue from a dear friend, Mr. Carl Vickery, the guy who got me pretty much into jiu-jitsu, taught me. And I went to his gym on Tuesday at like 2:00 in the afternoon just to do me and him, just haven't seen each other. And he was like willing to open the gym up. He's done work a little early and it's pretty much just got like to do a one-on-one private roll session with just an incredible practitioner of the martial arts. And he We did 5 minute rounds. I took a couple slugs of water here and there, but you know what? For doing like one, I think I've rolled 2 to 3 times in the last 6 months. For doing that little amount of rolling and then being able to do it with him was crazy and amazing. Just couldn't thank him enough. Profess my love and tell him how grateful I was because he's been nagging me, calling me every couple of weeks. Where you been at? What you doing? Like, get back in. You don't need to come back to this gym. Just get in here, train a little bit. So, not having worked the following day, Wednesday, I went in, and the first day was just like Carl and I, and then the second day it was just like all like my old OG jiu-jitsu friends from the day class. That was just honestly some of the best times in my life. We're doing afternoon jiu-jitsu, like waking up in the morning, going to the gym, coming on a bike ride, making breakfast, going to jiu-jitsu, coming home, showering, and then going to bartend with my brother and Jeremy, the owner of the restaurant, who was my boy. So it's just, I always think about those moments, and just seeing everyone yesterday. I got to see just two of my boys, two Jasons, my buddy John. Oh my God, there's just too many lists. Jeremy, there was a couple new people, Linus, Jack, Pat, just all these amazing people that I've gotten to meet over the years. And, when you lose touch with some guys, and I've stayed in touch with most of them, but just going in and being in that environment again, it made me feel a certain way. And then, doing jiu-jitsu 2 days in a row, the way my body felt after not doing it for months and then doing it, it's an amazing feeling. And I can't lie, I'm itching to get back. And I'm still like thinking about golf, but I'm like, I'm in this conundrum now where like I've been golfing 3, 4, 5 days, not 5, 2 to 4 days a week, or driving range, at least one. Because in the summertime the prices are slashed, the crowds, like not anyone can hang out with outdoor heat, Freddie. I'm golfing in 98 degrees at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm just simply not phased. It's worth it. And then when the time comes and it's going to get more expensive and way more crowded, you got everyone watching you tee off, just a little bit more than I'm used to. So talking about going back to New Jersey in the fall for a Birds game, I'll get to experience some Jersey fall golf. That'll be a dream. And yeah. Bob Barker, wanted to shout out him. Rest in peace, baby. Price is Right. It was always that conundrum of Jerry Springer, Price is Right after the swim team shenanigans. So we'd come home after swimming and have all the neighborhood peeps over eating breakfast and just joking, having fun, and watching some bullshit. So obviously, he's very well known for Price is Right, but a lot of people know him for his role in Happy Gilmore. Never be forgotten. So rest in peace, Bob. Prayers to his family. Couple more things. Okay, so right after jiu-jitsu yesterday, I went to, let's talk about a little skincare, hygiene type of thing. Ended off with maybe some current events, maybe not. We're not sure yet. But firstly, went over the weekend. I can't remember what day. My mom and I going to get pedicures. She doesn't want a pedicure. She insists she just wants a manicure. So I'm like, all right, cool, my treat. Let's go. She's doing her thing, getting a manicure. I'm getting my pedicure done, and I get the same lady who did it last time because this is my second time going to this one because I'm trying to find a comfort level with someone you like that does a good job that's reasonably priced. We'll get to that. So, my gets her. Oh fuck! All right, we having an audio issue. Are we back on the toner? Mic toner. We're good. So the plan was we were going, pay for my mom, pay for me. Simple, pretty much what we always do. We go, my idea, I pay. That's just how it should be. Yeah, so my mom ends up for some reason fucking paying for herself, which I was pretty pissed at, but whatever. I thought it would be cheap, right? So afterwards, she gets done before me. It's a monsoon outside, so she runs in when there's a break of rain. I'm finishing up my pedicure, getting my hot stones on my shins, getting my fucking And for anyone out there who's listening and hasn't had a pedicure and is judging or wants one but is like embarrassed or shamed, break it down for me. What are we embarrassed about here? Like, I really need to know because me, I like to get a nice little workout in, hit my bong, get a nice little high in, fill up my water jug, go over to the pedicure place, put an AirPod in, listen to some, Tom Segura, some Are You Garbage, some funny podcast, and just fucking close my eyes and have my feet rubbed, dog. Some days and maybe they'll have some golf on, which they did before. It's like, is that weird to you guys? I know, like being in jiu-jitsu, I take pride in taking care of these fucking freshly pettied feet, dog. Look at that shit. I mean, the tone coloring is maybe not what we're dreaming of. Just insane. So yeah, my mom's manicure was $35. My pedicure was $65. So the conversation that I want to have is what are we normally spending? I mean, I'm gonna tower this to the ladies out there, but if there are guys, what are we normally spending on a pedicure? I remember in the past, 35, 45-ish is kind of where we've been at. They have a little book here that shows you, the pedicures. They started at $85. And then I think the cheapest one on there was 50. Um, listen, I'm in a position, like I'm very blessed. Like I make decent money and I live at home. So the living expenses aren't nearly what some of the people have to shoulder. So like if it comes to something like this, a pedicure, like I take it seriously. I want to have it and I'll spend it's not a huge deal to me. But I also don't like in the same time, I don't want to be the guy asking, well, what's your cheapest pedicure? Because the last one I had was incredible. $65. But the $65 I spent the last time was a little bit more inclusive, if you will. It was a little bit more detailed. It was a little more enjoyable. I don't know. It just seemed to be a little different this time. There was no mango butter as I was promised. Where the fuck was my mango butter, for Pete's sake? Okay, I want to give them another chance. Customer service is great. They recognize me. I love it. I like going into places and feeling like you're regular. The pedicure, the salon vibe, just the ladies coming in and getting dolled up for the night ahead. And I'm usually the only guy in there. And I'm like, is this weird? No, I don't give a fuck. It feels good. And, those first couple nights sleeping after you get a pedicure. Whew. Okay, so comment below, comment on the Instagram, shoot me a text. What are you normally paying for a pedicure? Let's talk. Do you have a good place? Let me know. Brings me to my next point, a little bit of price. I had an issue in my left back molar 3-4 weeks ago. Wanted to get it addressed. Didn't want to keep putting it off. Dental office close to me. Called him up. Got an appointment pretty quickly. Went in. Dealt with it. Out of pocket. No dental insurance. Unfortunately, being a self-employed man, is if you will. 1099 and paying my own taxes, not getting any of it. It's worth it. I fucking love Snap-on. So yeah, you don't have dental insurance and you go in and I'm like, my sister's in this field. I know it ain't cheap. I know how much they make. I know it's just, So my first appointment is simply like, I think one little like filling back here. And it was like $600. Okay. Yesterday I end up going and getting an x-ray and then they determined that we can talk in tool terms here. I had some buildup of some stuff. Okay. It's a little embarrassing to talk about because I take my dental hygiene pretty seriously. I mean, I brush 2 to 3, usually 3 times a day. I mouthwash once or twice a day. I floss probably every other day. And I've learned like that has to be an everyday thing. I just, it's disgusting when you're seeing pictures of inside your mouth. And it's one of those things I've been putting off for years. So in my defense, like, it's not like it was something where I got my teeth cleaned 6 months ago and I went and looked like that. I mean, this was years of me neglecting it, being scared of going in and finding out what's going to happen or what's going on. Couple bad experiences as a child, getting locked into those straight jackets, but it was like more of a cocoon where it wasn't just over you, it was like wrapped in me. And I was super young and it was traumatic. I remember one of my sisters, I can't remember if it was Jenny or Sass, but they took me there and I was like screaming, like reaching out, trying to get them to free me. Obviously I wasn't reaching out because my arms were trapped, but I was like, help. So, yesterday, we get the x-ray, we get the scan, everything. And then about an hour into it, we're done. And she tells me, okay, it's X amount of dollars. But if you want to do the deep, non-invasive or non-surgical perio cleaning, it's going to be X dollars. I hear perio. I've talked to them about my sister being a perio. So I heard that and I didn't think much of it. But, here I am trying to take the initiative on myself to take care of this stuff and not have to rely on my sister. Right. So, I say, let's do it. I'm off that day. It was a Wednesday. I didn't feel like having to come back. They offered me to go home for a little bit. My neighborhood was so flooded at this point to drive my truck in there and to leave again. It just didn't make sense. So I just stayed there. Ended up paying $1,700 for work that my sister could have done for free. And I just booked a flight to her house like 3 days ago in Virginia to celebrate her baby's first birthday. I was there when he was born, so this is going to be pretty dope. So I'm going to be there. the end of October. I could have waited another month and, bought the MacBook I wanted to buy for $2,000 or upgraded my chain, my gold chain. I've been wanting to do that. But no, it's clean your teeth for $1,600. I love the two ladies that were working in my, they're great. We had good conversation. I would put my AirPods in and blast some music when the drilling was happening because your boy can't deal with that noise. But yeah, it was a little frustrating, but you know what? That brings me to my next point. Over the last few weeks, I've talked on here about kind of being in a struggle at work as far as, not getting the influx of tools in that we need. And we're just kind of hurting on that end. But if you don't follow the work Instagram, it's Snappy Solutions, SWFL, as in Southwest Florida. Putting up videos, remodeling the truck, trying to, inside, trying to make it look more exciting. We're doing games, and I'm just trying to show people, it's been a rough couple weeks and months, but I'm not going to give up and keep the enthusiasm. Last Friday was like the first, like Thursday night, I got an influx of a lot of stuff in. I set the town on fire on my half day Friday, which I always have, works till about 11 or 12 on Fridays. Crushed it. Monday, fucking went out slinging it, dog. Did 11,200 in sales in one day. And then this hurricane threatens to hit. So I can't work Tuesday or Wednesday. So as you know, like a commission job, I work from Friday to Thursday and I get paid a percentage of how much I sell. This could have been a week where, it's a Thursday, this airing on a Friday, but I did 5,200 in sales a day. Like it could have been a monster week if I got the work to that hump day grind in the middle of the week, but I didn't. So we're really getting back. I had some amazing moments today, some selling, some adversity. One guy wanted to trade in some stuff and he just couldn't stomach the price. And I just was working my fucking magic, dude. Ended up getting them for, trading in 3 of his old, power tools for newer ones, brushless models. And everybody was happy. I like taking pictures of people after they make a purchase, put it on the Instagram, and just, I'm back in that selling mode. It's fun. It's amazing to be back. And ever since I went to that conference, I told you guys about that in Nashville, the Snap-on Tool Show, I literally drank so much Kool-Aid. Like I'm literally throwing up Kool-Aid every night. It's insane. Like I really got drunk off it and I love this company and it's pretty crazy. And I've already noticed, Jesus Christ, I've already noticed the difference in when you, Jesus Christ, this fucking, I keep going on this. Sorry guys. I've already noticed the difference in the last like 3-4 days when I've gotten inventory in and I have stuff to sell. And now I'm selling more with a passion instead of just like, this is my job. Like I really stand behind these tools in this company and I'm fucking in it, baby. So follow the Instagram, keep promoting friends, your family. It's made for all ages. Really exciting stuff, guys. I know I've been talking about and teasing it for months, but we're to the point now where I'm getting nagged about bringing certain guests on. There was one guy who truly never thought he would agree. Finally has agreed. But now we're in talks about potentially, donning a ski mask for him or something because he's got quite a few tales, and I'm not just gonna have him on to talk about like taxes and stuff. We want to get into the nitty gritty. Like today, I met one of his and there's a work customer without saying too much. One of his lady friends, if you will, and he literally just walked up to me. He's like, "This is Sugar Tits. Sugar Tits. This is Frank," and I was like, "Okay, so." Nice to meet you, Sugar Tits. And then very, very fun interaction. And he brought up the podcast 2 to 3 times. I know my coworker Taylor, we're gonna get her on. I just messaged my old manager from Sherwin-Williams. Zoom calls, in-person calls. I'm done making excuses. I don't give a fuck. Studio's not really set up great, but you know what? I get another chair in here. We just talk and have some fun. Just mount the camera on one of my closet doors and have it like a bird's eye view, and we'll get it popping, guys. So I've really enjoyed the solo episodes. Don't get me wrong, but it's really fun talking that shit and vibing with someone else. My boy Jeremy, his younger brother, who's managing his restaurant, Zach. We're gonna market him as a stand-up comedian. He's gonna be on. So Nick and Maria, the bartenders at that bar, a couple that bartends together. They're just beautiful. Mimi, the nickname I created, is what she's known as to this day, guys. So real exciting stuff. Verbal Garbage is you can't kill it, guys. Even if I miss a week, I'm coming back. I'm not going to give up on this. It's something I've really grown to love doing, whether it's one person listening or a million people listening, which will never happen. But if I can literally have, I put it out for me, just the whole like facing my fears of what other people think and putting these thoughts out there about, episodes back, picking my nose while I'm in my car, but then making sure I wipe the boogers and put them in a tissue and then have hand sanitizer and really, it was a sanitary nose picking as we talked about. But your boys got Quirks. Quirkzilla's his name. And it's another episode of Verbal Garbage. We out. We love you. Spread the word, baby. Let's go.